Hey, let's calm down. Let's calm down for a minute. I know everything is pretty exciting right now with Dragonflight coming out this month on the 28th to be specific. But even before we have the release, we actually have some pretty big changes that I think should be mentioned. The UI edit mode is actually pretty nifty. The only bad thing about it is if you keep it completely default, it sucks. But the whole point is to not keep it default, so that's alright. The most interesting thing to me is the talents, and that's because it's a pretty absurd change for Blizzard. If you look at how these talents have been made much more simpler over some of the expansions, to see them do a complete 180 and give us this is pretty exciting. For anyone not familiar, at level 10 you can pick between a few specializations for your class. For Death Knights, this is Blood, Frost, and Unholy. Once in this specialization, you have two separate trees which you earn points for while leveling. You have your class tree and your specialization tree. Each of these trees functions the same, with the tree on the right being unique to whatever specialization you pick. Looking at a few of these talents, some will be very familiar. Abomination Limb is now a talent in your Death Knight tree instead of being unique to a specific covenant. So this means regardless of covenant, you can pick up this talented ability pretty much whenever you want. It seems like as long as you're in a resting zone, you can change these talents with no limitations, pretty much the same as the talents were before. So some talents like Wraithwalk do make a return, so you can still get this as any Death Knight if you want it, as long as you pick up Death Pack, Assimilation, or Asphyxiate, or this one. And you'll notice that that's pretty much how the talent trees work, is as long as you get the thing above it, you can normally get whatever one you're looking for. Which I know is a really dumb way to explain it, but it's true. It's top down, you work your way to the top, you go to the bottom, and that's it. The last thing I want to mention while we're talking about the talent trees as a whole is that they do have certain limitations. So for example, if I got rid of cleaving strikes, that's going to get rid of everything below that, and you see I now have this lock. This just means I have to spend at least 6 points above this row, so I can't get any of these yet, to then start working towards these lower ones. Now, interestingly enough, as I kind of pointed out with Death Strike, some of these abilities didn't used to be talents. So Death Strike, of course, used to just be a generic strike all the Death Knights got. That is not the case anymore. You do have to spend a talent to pick it up. Same with Raised Dead. Now, on the Frost side, so specifically for Frost, that's also true for Obliterate, Frost Strike, and Howling Blast. Though it will require you, just with the nature of this little lock system, to pick up both, to pick up all three of these abilities. It is interesting that you have to get them through the talent tree and you don't just unlock them naturally. It seems that you are completely stepping away from the class trainers and focusing on the talents for new abilities. Now, I'm also going to quickly look at the other abilities. So at the bottom, you can see here, I'm just going to reset any pending changes, and then it does revert back to what I was looking at previously, which is really nice. So you can kind of theory craft things without having to worry about ruining your own build. And I should mention, you do have a new loadout feature. So if you want to have multiple loadouts, maybe PvE, raiding, dungeons, etc., you can easily click between them here. I'm going to quickly show you the two other talent trees as well. The first one I want to talk about is Unholy. As you see, a pretty similar setup in terms of how it's presented, but Unholy actually has the legendary item ability Super Strain. Now, this is a really cool ability. I was really happy to see it introduced in Shadowlands, so to see it being carried over into an actual talent is pretty neat as well. I definitely think it fits the Unholy theme a lot too, spreading all those plagues. So really good addition in my opinion. Finally, in the Blood tree, I'm going to be honest, I didn't play a lot of Blood during Shadowlands, so I'm not super familiar with what would have been new and kind of additional little cool things here. So there's anything you notice while I'm kind of going through these, definitely let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll definitely be looking at Invoker when it comes out next week. So if you want to see that video, definitely be sure to subscribe and stay tuned. Have a good one.